And we are live. What is going on with everybody? It is your boy, Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Green Dungeon, giving it to you real raw rugged. And I got somebody on the other line. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, man. Who do we have here today?
What's up? This is Joel Jimenez, aka the Platinum Chihuahua, from the Kill Tony Squad, Death Squad. Yeah, drummer, Ludwig, drummer. That's funny. I never do my own. It's very weird to do your own intro. I wanted to go real crazy with it, and then I stopped myself. So that's all you get for now.
Like one of my first ever interviews. I've been doing this for like 5 years now. It almost kind of bit me in the ass. I interviewed Orlando Brown.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I interviewed
I've seen his
Orlando.
Vlad TV stuff.
I interviewed Orlando Brown, peak Orlando Brownness. Like this is when he was
Really?
wilding, and I said, hey, can you introduce yourself? He said, nigga, it's your show. Introduce me. And I said, alrighty, man. The craziest thing about that interview, because this was like 8 months into me to interviewing, so I was trash. On top of me dealing with this crazy nigga, it was a lot. I said, he didn't let me finish my question. I said, hey, I think it's safe to say after That's So Raven, you lost relevancy, but you some way found a way to come back and just go super strong. He cut me off at lost relevancy. He didn't hear anything else after that. He said, nigga, your mama lost relevancy after high school, didn't she?
Dude, that goes
And I
nuts,
said,
dude.
I didn't know what to say. I was just like, yeah, I guess. So,
Oh my god.
yeah, that was a crazy interview, man. So I appreciate you introducing yourself and not snapping on me.
Oh my god.
Oh
Well,
my
if anybody,
gosh.
go watch the Orlando Brown Peter Pan music video on YouTube. That's
Is that the one where he's like rapping in a trash can? Like, is that
No,
one?
I think he's like in like an airplane hangar or something. He tried to invent like it was like when these dance songs were coming out, like everybody was trying to do their dances.
Oh,
So his was do the Peter Pan, and it's kind of garbage. But shout out to him. I hope he's doing all right mentally.
I
And
hope
all of
so,
that.
man. I hope so, man. But hey, I'm glad to have you on here.
Yeah, man.
I'm a fan of Kill Tony, so had to get you
Well,
on here because I feel like you're one of the highlights of the show for sure.
thanks,
So
dude. Yeah,
I had
glad
to
we could
get you on.
finally get it done too. I'm sorry about all the. It's been wild, so I'm glad to finally get it
No,
happening.
life is crazy for everybody. I'm pretty sure right now. So I definitely understood. You had to like rearrange some stuff. That was totally fine. And listening to your podcast, just to kind of get into it, because I'm looking at this food right now. I know you were talking about meditating and like trying to get
Yeah.
better sleep and stuff like that. And you say you feel like you just eat very bad food, and that may cause you going to sleep. So I don't know if you know what Zaxby's is, because I know you're from LA. You ever heard of Zaxby's?
No,
Zaxby's
no.
is a really popular Southern restaurant, and they sell chicken, fries, the best chicken, the best fries,
Oh,
and this is what I just ate. This is a very just unhealthy, just some
wow,
chicken right
looks
here.
amazing,
Got
dude.
where is it? Got some damn crinkly fries, and you can't really see it. But it's just really.
Wow.
And after this interview, I'm probably going to pass out. Like I'm probably going to go to sleep really bad. So I just wanted to let you know I definitely sympathize with your terrible diet because I'm the same way. And like what do you eat that you feel like contributes to just your like poor like sleeping skills and everything else? I mean, well, maybe messed up.
Just everything, man. Whatever I want, kind of, man. I'll go like on. So I've been having like two sort of phases. I'll eat sandwiches a lot. Like I'll get big Italian
Mm.
Subway, like submarine sandwiches and hoagies and stuff. And then a lot of like I love the this is so stupid, but the Popeyes chicken sandwich. I'll go there. I'll get two of them. Like for me, I'll sit, do the whole thing. Uh, Hot chicken, I eat a lot of that. There's a bunch of spots out here that do that, the Nashville style. Pasta, pizza. Me and my girl eat wings. Like we were eating like hot wings like twice a week, like the big orders. But yeah, I don't know, just garbage stuff. I've been a little bit better lately, and then I'm like not drinking for a while, so that's made it easier to eat what I want because I'm not eating garbage, and on top of that having like crazy beer calories or whatever. Um, so yeah, that's it. I don't know.
Well,
Trying
yeah.
to do better, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to be a terrible influence, but when you do want to eat some terrible food, I do have a couple suggestions when you're in the southern areas, and that would be
Okay.
Zaxby's. I'm telling you, that's
Okay.
you're gonna be like, wow, I wish I lived in the South. Very good
Uh,
chicken, very good fries, and when the next time you're in Florida, and I think somewhere like in Alabama, but they're really primarily in Florida, there's like a basically like a Walmart. It's called Publix, but it's like
Okay.
it's like a Florida version, and they sell the best subs you will ever have.
Wow.
And the first
Oh
time I ever
yeah.
went there, the lady said, "You ever been here before?" I said, "No." She said, "You eat Subway?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You're never gonna eat Subway again." And I've been eating Subway. I mean, I've been eating Publix all my life. Never had Subway after going to Publix. I'm telling you, it's some
Yeah.
of the best subs you're
Oh,
ever
I
going
bet
to
too.
have. So,
There's a
yeah, man.
place in Philly called Wawa that's sort of like
The
that too.
gas
It's
station?
kind of like a yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like a 7-Eleven
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
but
That's
they
in Florida.
got like really good sandwiches and stuff too, man.
Is that in LA?
It's awesome. Nah, they don't have it out here. It's really hard to find like a good like East Coast style sandwich out here. There are a few places, but a lot of them are far away. There's a place called Portillo's that they opened. It's a Chicago spot, but they opened one up here like a half hour away, and I've been like thinking about going. They have a chocolate cake milkshake where it's like vanilla ice cream, and they actually put like a chunk of chocolate cake in, and they blend it, and it's fucking amazing, dude. Ugh.
You must have like a super good metabolism because the way that you describe your eating styles, it sounds like you
Yeah.
should be like way bigger than you are.
Yeah, I try to catch myself when it's getting too crazy, and then like figure it out. But anytime I lose weight, I go like if I lose 10 pounds, I'm like, okay, now I can gain that back. So like, it's just fluctuating all the time. Oh man, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's funny. The other day I was eating a sandwich, and I was like, I think I have legit like real like food addiction issues because I when I'm eating a sandwich, I'm already sad that it's gonna be over soon. Like I mourn the death of the sandwich before it's like gone, and I don't think that's healthy. But
I mean, no, I think I might overeat sometimes. Like when I go to Chick-fil-A, I get 4 chicken sandwiches and 3 large fries. So
wow.
I eat like a grown man. Like,
Damn, dude.
and
Yeah,
it's
I've done 2 sandwiches there for sure. Or if I get the sandwich with no bread, like I get it in the lettuce thing, then I have to get 2 because whatever, you know. But
they sell it with
sounds
no
like we need
bread.
to hang out. Uh, what'd you say?
I said people they sell it with no bread at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, you could do it like in a lettuce wrap.
Really?
Yeah, it's good. It's kind, you know, whatever. I guess if you're gonna do it, you should just do it. But I don't know, man. It's a struggle, dude.
It's like I don't know. It's like smoking a cigarette, but you're like taking like the nicotine or something. It's like, I mean, I got the nicotine. It's like, nigga, you still smoking a cigarette, you know? So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, for sure.
I definitely feel
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
And then listen to you talk about that, talking about you trying to get better and meditate, and you were saying it's kind of hard for you to do that. And there's this app. I don't know if you ever heard of it. There's a whole bunch of
Waking up.
apps similar to that, but
I'm
no.
on that right now. I'm 5 days in, deep to that. I've been actually doing that. But go ahead, sorry.
I don't know if waking up involves this, but there's a whole bunch of breathing apps. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever, it's like a
Okay.
breathing app.
Yeah, it's basically focusing on the breath and stuff. It's really good, man. Like we talked a little bit. I got a new episode coming out today, but we talked a little bit about it and like basically, well, whatever. Let me know because you can send this thing and get like a month for free, and they're not a sponsor, but I've been really sort of enjoying it, dude, and it's helped. Like I feel like I'm getting some tools to kind of like help. You know, I don't know.
No, that's cool because I'm on this app. It's called Breathwork, and I'm pretty sure it's probably really similar to what you
Okay.
got going on. And it's just it helps you for breathing in every situation. So if you're angry, if you're sad, if you're trying to go to sleep, it's everything. It shows you how to
Cool.
breathe in every different situation. And I thought it was
Yeah.
really cool because I'm a psychology major, and
Okay.
in psychology they always teach you like breathing is like some of the most important things about life. Like when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
discussing a traumatic situation, you stop breathing. Like if you're talking about a time you got robbed, you're going to like
Yeah.
just start talking without breath, and you're not even going to notice it. It's just something that happens. So yeah, breathing is like that helps so much, and I wish more people realize that.
Dude, it's crazy, man. I avoided it for a long time because I thought that sitting with my thoughts was gonna be too much. But then you realize you're not sitting with your thoughts. You're sitting with no thoughts, or at least trying to. And the other night, because I'm guilty of fucking. I smoke weed a little bit every now and then. Like I'm very careful. I used to smoke a shitload as a teenager, and then it just stopped working at a certain point. But the other night to go to bed, I kind of took 2 puffs, and it sent me into this wormhole of like where you start just kind of panicking and you go crazy. And I was like, let me see if I can focus on my breath, see if I can get out of this. and it wasn't easy because I didn't want to. I kept like fighting it, but I ended up sort of doing it. I was like, well, if you don't do it now, then when are you gonna do it? Now is the time to try and put this shit into practice. And I did a little bit, and I ended up like, the next thing I knew, it was like morning. So I got to bed, put me to sleep, and so yeah, man, I believe it, dude. And then I do jujitsu. I'm not lately. I haven't done jujitsu because all the gyms are closed, and then even the ones that are open, I'm still a little bit nervous because I'm around my parents and stuff. So, but Hickson Gracie was like one of the greatest of all time. He was always talking about breath work, and he was part of this documentary called Choke back in the day, and they show him on the beach. He does this like fire breath shit. It looks crazy to watch. Like I don't like to watch it because you see like his insides like moving and shit. But he was a big like he was always talking about breathing, and I think you're right, man. Like breathing, I'm noticing that more how important it is. Today I was running and like trying to focus on my breath, and you realize that the physical aspect of running is easier when you're just focused on the breathing part of it. Like the body knows what to do, but you gotta breathe while you're doing it anyway.
I'm a big sport. Yeah, I guess I'm a big sports guy, and I love MMA, and I feel like MMA is interesting because it's slightly different from any other sports because a lot of it involves just kind of like almost semi spiritual stuff to just like knowing yourself. Like you play football, just knock somebody's head off you want. You don't really got it. But most of like jujitsu, the Gracie family, like they preach that like kind of just like working on your inner self to be the better you. And I feel like it's a very interesting thing. Is that what got you into that, or were you into that? Like, is that what you got you into like trying to be better, or were you in that before you got to jujitsu?
No, man. I think any sort of martial arts I've ever done in my life have been for self improvement, or all the benefits that come from that. Even just pure navigating the world, like it's just knowing that you have this skill or whatever. It does. You walk around a little different, like it definitely helps, dude. So yeah, man, I love that shit. It's there's hundreds of quotes of people like saying like the only person they're fighting in the ring is themselves. Really, like the other person's there, but if you can conquer yourself, then you can definitely, you're gonna feel a lot more powerful in there. But yeah, dude, I'm not almost nothing I do. I'm not like a surface guy. Like I like to get into the nitty gritty of the shit that I'm doing. So I think jiu-jitsu for me was definitely a mental thing to try and make, whether it's working out so that my brain chemistry is a little bit better, or whatever, the camaraderie and all of that. I think it's all super important for like just physical and mental health, dude. I think all of that. Even when I'm watching UFC, I'm not necessarily watching the violence. I'm watching like humans at their top potential. I think I really like that, man.
And we kind of talked about music a little bit before we started, and I know you play drums. Is that something that you put into drums as well? Like a deeper meaning into you playing drums?
Yeah, for sure, man. I that's a weird one because I never actually like thought. I think for a time when I was a teenager and I was drumming, it was definitely like a selfish sort of like, I want to look cool. I want to be like, I'm the drummer in this band. I want to be like this weird like sort of rock star, like look at me shit. And the older I get, the more that doesn't really matter to me. Like, of course, like, I think it's interesting because like the ego, I think that you kind of need a little bit of that to achieve any sort of greatness in anything you're doing. But there is a point where it becomes detrimental. So like the older I'm getting, the more that I'm using drums almost like as a meditation in a way. Like I just got an electronic drum set so I can practice inside, like whenever, just with headphones on. And so there are times when I'm feeling a little bit fucked up, or I'm nervous or afraid or angry, and I'll throw the headphones on and try to get lost in while playing. So yeah, I don't know. I think I guess now the older I am, the drumming is definitely, and I'm sure I did it as a teen. Like I remember like playing drums crying as a teenager. You're just getting it out, like this physical thing, skateboarding, all that shit. Like that's why maybe I stayed away from the meditating thing for so long, because I like to do things that get me out of my head, like, and so sitting, I didn't understand for a long time. But Yeah, definitely. The older I get, the more and more that I'm conscious of my physical activity being mental release or just some sort of like bringing a state of peace through it.
I think percussion, excuse me, in general, but specifically like drums, that's one like instrument where you could just physically like let out chaos. Like if you
Yeah.
have anything going on, you could just like play your soul out. And you said you were crying, like you spent nights crying. I guess like letting out like I guess pain. Like
Yeah.
was that therapy at a young age before you even probably realized that was therapy?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I look back and I'm like, oh, dude, you were fucking. Yeah, it was. And the cool thing is, you're excelling at a skill while also like releasing these demons or whatever. And it's weird because you think like drums are probably like the first instrument. Like hitting something
Yeah.
was probably the first thing. Um, and it's very primal, dude. Like just I given like little sticks to like my nieces or whatever, and they grab them. It's like they already know what to do with them. They grab the sticks so intuitively and start hitting stuff. And yeah, it's really interesting, dude. I think there is like a primal um, need to release energies. Some people dance, some people sing, some people hit stuff, whatever. Even fighting is probably very primal
Yeah.
as well. Um, but yeah, just being in touch with those reptile brain sort of physical things that can bring us to a deeper understanding of how we've evolved in the mental side of stuff.
I feel
I don't
like
know what the
no, no,
I'm
no.
not.
I get you, and I think I didn't realize this till I just did this interview, but I think I'm a little envious of you because you're such a good drum player, and I say that
uh,
because I went to like an art school, like I was saying, and I went for drama, but I ended up having to switch to music. Never having playing like an instrument, never.
wow.
Everybody was like, "Hey," they were just like, "Hey, you gotta like, we'll pick what you do, and you would try out for certain stuff. So if you want to do percussion, you do this." And in the band, not too many black kids. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have natural rhythm. I'm gonna kill it. And didn't work out. And,
uh,
and then basically, hey, put the nigger on trombone. And I was basically, and I was blowing my heart away. And it's so crazy because after being in the band for so long and just watching percussionists, you guys are some of the smartest people in the band because you guys have a lot to deal with. Because let's say if you're just playing brass, you're only playing that one instrument. Percussionists, they gotta know how to play drums, they gotta play xylophone, they gotta play timpani, they gotta know how to play everything, you know. So I
yeah.
feel like your brain has to be working at all times because you're not just operating one tool. You're operating maybe seven things within just one song, you know. So
Hmm.
I feel like that's it's really interesting. Did you ever play in an actual like symphonic
Marching
orchestra or
band.
anything like that, or a marching band or anything?
No, I fucked up. I took beginning band in high school, and it was weird because I definitely like excelled. Like I fucking, I was really good. I passed everything, perfect. And then I got invited to be in the marching band at my high school, and but I was just a shithead, like rebellious kid, and I hated high school. Like I dropped out of high school like later on, but I went to I went to the first day of like marching band, and they put me on bass drum, right, like the fucking thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, this ain't it, dude. Like, because obviously the snare guys are the fucking,
Yeah.
like that's the cool shit. But so I ended up quitting band to play soccer, like a fucking idiot. It's like, what do you? I wasn't gonna be a soccer player. Like, I don't know what. So I'll fall in love with certain things, and I go like all in. So at the time, I was like really into soccer, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'll play. And now that I look back at it, if I would have like stayed in band, I maybe would have graduated from high school. Maybe I would have gone on to like the drum corps, but then also maybe I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. Maybe I took a completely different path, and who knows? Who knows what the fuck would have happened? But I remember, yeah, quitting band. So I did that. But that's it. I don't really know a lot of music theory. Like I don't know. I couldn't play the. I can play the xylophone by ear. Like I can play some shit that, oh, that sounds good or whatever. But yeah, I don't do a lot of other percussive instruments. I've played like congas and bongos and shit, like to back up other bands and stuff. But the drum kit's like my favorite. And what was I gonna say about that? Oh, it's weird because I do a lot of music like on GarageBand on my phone and stuff. So I'll make like beats and stuff. and I can play enough of a bunch of different shit to compose something. But any deeper than that, it's like I kind of get lost. I'm starting to toy around with the idea of getting a keyboard maybe, and starting to learn that because I watched a video of Dr. Dre playing still DRE
Yeah.
on the piano, and I was like, fuck. I bet if I watched the video long enough, I could figure that out. So then I watched like a tutorial, and I was like, oh, okay, it's these keys, there's that. So that's something I'm thinking about maybe doing soon, and sampling and all that stuff. I'm so blown away by it, and I want to do it, but then the buy-in line it's a lot, it's expensive, and then something about the technology stuff to me, like it doesn't work with my brain. I'm not really like a computer guy, but then I'm also sick of saying that. Like I don't want to be the old guy that's like I'm old. Like well, fucking, I want to learn it. Like maybe learn it, but there's only so much time, and I don't know. But this quarantine has definitely got me thinking about like, man, maybe this is the time to like, I don't know. GarageBand on the iPhone is awesome. Like I've sampled, I've done stuff, but then I'll watch a Jay Dilla thing or something, and I'm like, damn, I want to learn how to like put the samples into the Akai and do that, and sample records, and there's something like tangible and cool about that. Just being a drummer, but being able to compose a fucking symphony off of a percussive instrument, because the Akai is still very like,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, but you can do so much with it. But yeah, I don't know.
I 100% tell you to go for it, man. Go for the
Yeah.
computer stuff, go for the music stuff, because I was never in a marching band. I was in a symphonic band, so we were sitting down, reading music. Like I said, it was very just like different school. Like we had to listen to Miles Davis albums and all type of just
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So when you like do that at a young age, and I feel like even at your age you can still do it, because I think my brain was just more developed and I was more susceptible just taking information. When you really learn like just like music, I feel like it makes you just so much more quicker in just other things in life, and it makes you appreciate music so much more. Like you just gonna listen to a beat and be like, oh, is that and like it just makes you
Yeah.
just appreciate everything more. So I'm telling you, if you have the time, man, just I'm telling you, like learning music, like the actual notes and what it means and how it
Yeah.
works, I'm telling you, bro, you'll really enjoy it for sure.
Yeah, I think I probably end up getting like a keyboard sampler of some sort before I get like. But then I also want to fucking like DJ. Like, there's a Scratch Academy down here that DJ Babu from Dilated Peoples opened up, and I'm like, man, like, it's like whatever. I just thought about because that's also very percussive. You're cutting beats at the 4 or the
Yeah.
8 or whatever. There's something so cool about the fucking, yeah, I don't know. So we'll see what my future fucking, because I'm also like, man, if I got good at DJing, I here's another this I'm and stop me if I'm fucking talking
Nah,
too
you're
much.
good.
But I'm always tripping on like, you'll go to a party or whatever. It seems like there is the same 50 songs every DJ plays at some fucking party, and I'm like, no one's really. I'm not, and there's a blanket statement, but it feels like less and less people are playing like cool shit that like maybe people don't listen to all the time, or like, I'm sure like if I went to see DJ Premier or something, he's not gonna play like party rock or something, like, I so I like the aspect of like giving something to a crowd maybe they've never heard before, that's still fucking dope, and then scratching live, all that. I feel like I'd be a good DJ because I like sort of maybe more in-depth things that people don't listen to often. But I'd also play the fucking hits, I'm not. I know that there are bad DJs who can't read a room, who will play some fucking. You're like, dude, can you tell nobody wants to listen to this right now? You're doing this because you want to be self-indulgent. Like, I know your job is to rock the party, but you can do that with some interesting shit,
Man,
Anyway,
you make me. I told myself I wasn't gonna do this because I do this almost every interview when I interview somebody from LA. But I think I just might have to start slandering LA, man. When you bring up DJs, I think I may have told the story here. I'm not really for sure, but I went to LA for the first time in August, and I went to a club out there. I went to a club with this dude who works for the H Street podcast. So we go
okay.
there, and the music is pretty good so far. So we walk to, like the dance room area, and he's playing Frank Ocean Nova King. I'm like, oh, everybody's dancing. It's like a good time. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then he stops the beat and says, oh, y'all already know what I'm finna go to next. And everybody's like, oh, you finna play some more Frank Ocean? This guy transitions into Tyler the Creator Yonkers, and everybody just looks at each other like, what the? And everybody just leaves the dance. There's nobody there anymore. So I don't know if that's an LA thing where they just know how to read the room, but that was just like, wow.
Guarantee you that he's not from here.
You
There's
think
the
so?
thing. I will like everything that everybody slanders about LA. Those are mostly people that moved here. Like they don't like. There's a lot of fucking. I bet really good like DJs out here that are like probably just not. It goes back to the fucking you know like it's like mainstream media shit. Like the stuff that we're seeing isn't necessarily like the good stuff. It's just what we're being like told to check out. But like you know whatever, you'll see some new artist that people are pushing, and then you're like, I bet you there's some kid in like Brazil in a dumpster who's like 1,000 times better than this person. But that's all that we're hearing. So. I don't know. It just depends where you're at because you know there was a lot of I'm sure there's a lot of dope shit. I've been to a bunch of it, but I'll hate the shit that you hate about LA probably right with you. You know.
Well, I think it was really just like mostly, it felt super fake to me. Like nothing felt genuine there.
Yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm not really a part of that in my immediate circle, but I've been in rooms where I see that. Like, where was I, man? Like. I'll go to like Hollywood or something and end up at some weird thing, and you're like, oh, this is the shit people hate about LA, like the fucking whatever it is, you know, the blonde chicks with the dude with the fucking glasses on inside, like. But I think people move here to like live that version of themselves. I don't know. I'm not the authority on LA shit, but like my family's from here, like. Or we've been here forever, and like so my immediate circle probably feels more like what your life is like, you know, it's like community, like all of that. So but there is definitely this thing about LA because people move here to buy into that thing, so you do definitely see a lot of it because of that. But I don't think that that's the true Los Angeles.
Well, what I do think is true LA, and I think might be the best thing about LA, at least when I was there. You guys have my favorite fast food restaurant, which is.
Oh shit! Wait. Don't tell me.
Go ahead,
think
guess.
about this.
Go ahead, guess.
In-N-Out?
I was going to go there, but somebody told me that it was the white people version of the restaurant I went to.
Okay, hold on, man. Hold on. Fat Burger? Fat Burger is fucking good, dude.
Oh my god, that changed my life. Like I almost stayed an extra day just to get one more serving of Fat Burger, bro.
Stupid, that's funny, man.
That shit is amazing, man. Oh,
yeah, it's really good, dude. Fat Burgers, it's kind of expensive. But
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's like, I remember, like, if you really want, because they have all the add-ons and stuff, like, you could get really crazy and get everything on there, you know? But, yeah, I like Fat Burger a lot. They just opened one up, like, near my girlfriend's house. I've been thinking about going every day.
So fire, man. Would you say that's the best burger in LA?
Oh, man. It's one of, yeah, for sure. I had, you ever been to The Habit before?
Is that in LA, I'm assuming?
I guess so, but I don't know how far it reaches, but, I guess they're from Santa Barbara, but I had one of those the other day, and that was really good.
Pretty good.
Man. And of course, there's like the little mom and pop spots that are really good, you know. But
and it's crazy. I told myself like I'm gonna go like everywhere and try everything out. I only ate Fat Burger the entire that captivated my stomach so much that I was like I gotta go here every single day. So
what were you out here doing?
I came out there to interview a couple people, a couple meetings, you know, just like kind of talk up some stuff and whatnot. So that's why
next time when this is over, if you come out here, I'll go to Fat Burger.
You know, it's funny. I was supposed to be there in January, but I don't think I'm going to be there anymore. I was going to go because, like I said, I do the public interviews. I was going to like try to. I was going to get my very deep troll bag, and I was going to do a public interview at the AVN Awards. And,
hilarious.
That was the thing I was going to do, but I don't even think they're probably going to have that anymore because of what's going on. So. Yeah.
Man, I know. I'm hearing stuff about like even like January 2021. You know, like it's wild, dude. It's that shit gets to me sometimes. Like I'll be if you sit and think about it too much, it'll get to you. Dude.
It's crazy. It's something I don't try to think about, and it's funny because I was just looking at this thing. I just took a screenshot of it like right before we hopped on here. And it says, developing new swine flu strain G4E8 H1N1 discovered in China has quote-unquote pandemic potential.
I saw that. I just kept going. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, dude? I don't have the time. It's like,
Nah, my fault. What you about to say?
no, I don't know what to say. It's like, well, that's the other thing. I can't just live in fear to a certain point. We won't do anything, you know? Like, there's some quote. It's like, if you knew, like, how your day was gonna go, like, you wouldn't even get out of bed. Like, you gotta, like, I don't know, man. I'm mostly worried. If I didn't have my parents around, I probably wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be like, open it all up. But that's the one thing that I'm like, damn it, I gotta be careful because
Gotta be considerate. Gotta be
yeah,
considerate.
yeah. But then there is that thing where it's like, I've heard people say it. It's like, well, open it all up, and then whoever dies. It's like, yeah, but I got people that are near me. You know, it's like I can't. I don't know, man. And then there are these fucking. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
It's a whole bunch of idiots, man. It was a concert at this club 2 weekends ago down here, and everybody went. It was super packed out, and apparently 60 people caught it from that club. And I was like, yo,
fucking duh.
Goodness,
no
like,
shit.
why are you going to the club at this time? So it's really bad, and I think we agree on like a lot of things. I was watching your podcast, and your co-host brought up, how did you want to die? I think it was like a question or something like that. And I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to think about that. Like, why would I put that in my mind? I would rather think more positive than, I'm going to jump off the airplane and like, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah,
you know? So I think that's pretty cool. Because I feel like a lot of people are super grim like that. Like, that's a question that they'll ponder about, but something I don't want to think about at all.
Yeah, there are those people that I think really think like that, and there are people who just want to seem fucking tough or deep, so they try to act like they think like that, or like all these like, I'm not scared to die people. You're like, all right, really? Fucking whatever, dude. It's the most terrifying shit to me, dude.
That's a fact, man. And
I guess we just went there right now.
Yeah, I guess we did. But I guess kind of getting a more positive thing, just how I discovered you, and kind of just going back to the Kill Tony podcast. Watching it, you know, you have the main host Tony, and the band was the thing that really just like struck my interest, because never seen anything like that in the podcast. Like when they have a live band playing and they're a part of the podcast. Well, that's really interesting. And I think I liked you so much because like I didn't watch from like the first episode y'all alone. I kind of like caught it just whenever I caught it. And I think the first episode I seen, you were just bombing. No joke was hitting. Every joke was just not hitting. And I love the fact that you were just so persistent. And when it wasn't funny, your reaction made me laugh. You would just be like, fuck! I'm trying.
Do you remember what episode that was?
I cannot remember. Because I watched so many since then, but I just remember that first one. I'm like, yo, I don't know who this bald head man is, but he is trying his hardest right now. And I think the next episode, you got the Joburg chant. So I was like, oh, so he's super good. So I'm like, so that showed me like, even when you're bombing, you got it and whatnot. And I just want to let you know, man, super talented person, man. So from the drumming, from the comedy, from just your thoughts, like just outside of being funny or just the way you think, super talented, interesting, intriguing person, bro.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's I appreciate that. It's funny because when I first got on the show, I was like sort of terrified to bomb. I was like, you would do a joke and it would fucking stay with me, dude, like forever. And then as I was on it for a long time, I started seeing my heroes and stuff throw out jokes that wouldn't work, and I was like, oh, like they're bombing too. Everybody is swing and a miss, whatever, we're trying. So then I was like a little more confident to like say whatever, and then I was even confident in the bomb, where I would, if I'm gonna bomb, I'm gonna fucking like burn this shit down, which sometimes I maybe do too much, where like if I were to drop the joke, it doesn't go and I just move on, nobody would notice. But I like to go, oh really? You guys didn't like that, whatever. But so I don't know, it's weird. And then now with the way that the show is during this fucking shit, it's harder, because if I made a dumb joke and the audience liked it, then it works. But now, if the people I'm in the room with don't like it, it just feels, it's harder, you know. So I don't know.
I have an interesting question for you, because I've never did stand up, but I've done comedy based stuff on stage. Like for example, in high school on National Signing Day, where the people were like signing where they're gonna go to college at for sports and whatnot. Me and my friend thought it'd be funny if I did just like a funny battle rap type of poem introducing where he would be going to college at. And I've done stuff like that before, and I'm curious if it's similar, because when I do stuff like that, I have the butterflies. I'm a little nervous, but once I get that first laugh, I'm good. Are you the same way, or are you good just all the way throughout?
No, I definitely. So here's something like when I first started stand up, I had a joke that was maybe like my second joke or something, and as soon as I heard the laughs to that, I was like, okay, now we're in the pocket. But then I started noticing there were times where the laughter didn't happen, and then the whole shit I was in my head, like, what the fuck? And then, so I had to learn that if they didn't laugh at that, then I had to just sort of like keep attacking with other stuff after. But it used to definitely derail me a little bit, where I was like, damn, they didn't, wow. And sometimes it sucks if they don't laugh at the A material, where you're like, this will get them, and it doesn't, and you're like, oh, fuck, man. Yeah, I gotta tell this, on my podcast, I'm eventually gonna do it, but the first time I went, I did a corporate show, like my friends took me on the road to do this corporate show, and it was a disaster, dude, from like top to bottom. It's a fucking long story, but yeah, there are times on the road where there are certain types of laughs too. If you get that type of laugh that you want, then you're like, all right, we're in. Like, they're gonna ride with me no matter what I say. But there are some times where you'll get a laugh, but it's not. It's like, I guess it's like I'm trying to describe. It's like a flashlight, right? Like if the batteries are supercharged, you turn it on, the shit's like bright as fuck. But if the batteries are a little bit, like, you gotta keep like fucking with it. It'll, like, that's a bad analogy. I'm trying to think of something, but there are some laughs where you're like, all right, they're fully on it, and then there are some where you're like, oh, every single joke I'm gonna have to reset. Those are hard, but it's been months since I've done stand up now, and sometimes I sit around worrying if I remember how to even do it.
I think the interesting thing about stand up, though, or the thing that I feel like you have a little bit in favor, is that when you go to a stand up show, you're expecting to laugh. And usually when I'm doing like stuff on stage, I'm at places where I shouldn't be, where making people laugh, like National Signing Day, like, because I started off, I was like, strong brother, and my teacher, when I got back in class, he was like, when you said strong brother, I thought you were going to be like super black power, man, but you caught me off guard. You're started talking about him eating cheese grits, and it was just it's never like a thing where people are expecting laughter. So when you, how can I put this, like the corporate thing, they probably wasn't going there expecting to, you know what I'm saying? So like you get what exactly.
But just say my buddy who was headlining, midway through his act, he brought games with him. He's like, all right, we're gonna play some games, guys. Like, he's pulling all the stops. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, and you're like, it's an uphill battle with what you're doing, kind of, because they're not. A lot of shows are like that here in LA, though, like in a bar. Mm-hmm. There'll be a game on, everybody's watching the game, and then all of a sudden they'll turn the TVs on and turn them off, and be like, all right, we're going to have comedy. I used to be like, dude, we're like inflicting comedy upon people. Like, they're not just enjoying it, but so the man on the street stuff you do for this website, or do you have your own thing? You got a podcast and stuff like that, or? Like...
well, everything is like freelance or whatever. I post stuff on the websites for promotion, but everything's like on my YouTube. Everything's on my YouTube,
cool.
And
awesome.
Yeah, I do like the little man on the street videos, and even that, like, people come up. Well, I have like this bonnet on, so I'm pretty sure they're expecting something insane for me to come out of my mouth. But when I go up to them, they're not really like probably expecting a laugh or anything. So it's like I have to, and they don't know me. Like, okay, so when you watch a Dave Chappelle special, I feel like Dave Chappelle, they know who he is. It's fair for him to get a laugh, and outside of a random stranger coming on stage, like, who is this guy? Has to prove himself to me. So it's like every time I'm doing the Man on the Street video, I have to prove myself that, hey, I'm going to get a laugh out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those type of things. So like Kill Tony, when you're doing the Kill Tony, they're going to see Kill Tony. You don't guys have to prove anything to them.
They know my style already.
Exactly. So me coming on with the bonnet and a big, like last time when I was doing the Corona video, I had a condom on the microphone because I didn't want spit getting on it. And
hilarious.
I literally almost got into a fight because the dude was like, "You got a dick in my face?" And I was like, "No, it's
people get crazy about that, dude. You ever seen those Nardwar videos?
Yeah.
Where you, like, put the mic too close to like their face and they're like, you need to stop putting that mic too close. Like, it's like,
It's
all
like,
right.
calm down, man.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
a whole nother topic.
it's a whole nother. So but yeah, that's cool though that you have a people that want to see your style of comedy. And I guess kind of going back to the band, I feel like you're super talented, and I feel like one of the most talented people that I've seen this year, because this when I discovered the podcast, is Jeremiah Watkins. I feel like that guy.
I just said thanks. I thought you were talking about me for a second.
I heard you say that. I heard you say that. I was like, I'm just gonna skip over that.
I'm thanking you for Jeremiah. Yeah, he's the best, dude. He seriously is, man. Like, go ahead. You were talking. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say the thing that I like about him so much is that I love all type of comedy, edgy comedy, whatever. But it's the fact that he's not the edgiest person on the earth, but he can touch an edgy topic and make it's like almost clean comedy with like a little bit of like dirty humor, and it's just so good.
He's willing to do. He gets edgy when he's doing some sort of crazy stunt, or like I've seen him throw up milk, or he got his pubes waxed on stage. Like he'll go that extra mile. And then back to what you said, kind of like one of my favorite things is he doesn't cuss. Like in his normal everyday life, he never curses. He will only cuss in character if that character curses. And to this day, when I watch him, when he goes like, fuck that, like in character, it like takes me back, and I'm like, oh, I love it. It's like, it means so much more when he does it, because he never does it unless he's in the character, and to him, he's probably like, yeah, I don't do it, it's the character, but it's funny, man. That's one of my favorite things that he does, when he cusses unexpectedly.
And it's crazy because you guys commit to the act so just like you are that person. Like if you're a prostitute,
he's way better at that than I am. Yeah, I've had times where I'm like, I'm not even doing the voice anymore. It's my way in, but then I'll quit it. It's scary sometimes because you'll be talking to him before the show or after, and you're like, who the fuck am I talking to right? It's not Jeremiah.
Yeah.
And he needs like time to get out of it. It's this weird thing, like sometimes he's a little crazy, but I love it.
Man, the Donald Trump might be my favorite. That's just an amazing.
Very good,
one,
yeah.
That's the Tiger King one I seen he did recently. That
was amazing, yeah. Dude.
He's that's somebody that like after I discovered it was like if I had to interview anybody, it has to be you, David Lucas, who I interviewed earlier this year, and Jeremiah. Those are the three people that I was like, I have to interview. So after this, I have to try to get an interview with him because that guy, he's so good, man. He's so talented.
Yeah, I'll let him know that I talked to you. I'll let him know you're not a psychopath.
And yeah, man, I appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, I can't. If anybody's watching this, they don't know who you are. I just really want to reiterate that. Please watch his podcast, his work, his Kill Tony stuff, because like I said, I feel like you are a super duper just versatile person, and I feel like a lot of people they get put in the box, and they don't mind being put in the box. But I appreciate the fact that you aren't in a box. You are everywhere, doing everything, and just want to say thank you for creatives like you, because I appreciate that, man.
Thank you, and I think that nowadays too, with the way that media is being taken in, it's like you kind of have to do everything. Yeah. Like the people that just do one thing are you're fucked. So I don't know. And then Steve Martin, I always bring this up in his book. He said that when you do stand up, you'll end up using every skill you've ever learned, you've ever had your whole life. So whether I'm like breakdancing during like a drum off or whatever, the backflip thing, like all that shit, like that's all stuff that I've done like forever. And but it's funny because we were talking about like people don't know me, so that's the other thing is like sometimes we'll do these stand-up shows before Kill Tony, and people don't know my stand-up. Really, they know me from the show, but so sometimes when they're getting to know me for the first time through my act, it's interesting sometimes. And they'll be like, well, what's this guy gonna talk about? Or like, is he gonna pull the fucking dildo out? It's like, no, I got this other thing that I do too, so that's interesting because they do know me, but they don't really they don't know my stand-ups. A lot of it's like autobiographical stuff, like they don't really know that side of me. But yeah, Kill Tony fans will definitely they digest it a little bit easier than some audience who doesn't know me at all, because they at least, like you said, they know where I'm coming from and stuff. And that's the other I think about that with just stand-up as a craft. It's like certain jokes take the audience knowing who you are before you can even say the shit. You know, like
Yeah.
whatever. If you're gonna talk politics or racial issues or whatever, they gotta know where your heart is before you drop some like bomb on them, because then they'll just be like. So it's important to set that up, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I mean that's I think before I let you go, this is a this is a funny story I have to tell because I was watching a stand up one time, super long time ago. I think like Bill Bellamy got jokes or whatever, where he would just have like random people come up and perform, and they'll get judged by the crowd or whatnot. White guy on there.
I remember that. Yeah,
Great.
Roger Rod.
Yeah. And it was I don't remember if that was his name or not, but I do remember it was an all black crowd. White guy, he's killing it. And
blonde hair.
He had blonde hair.
Is it? Is that who you're talking about?
I'm going to tell.
Do you remember any of?
I can't remember
does
anybody.
Does he come out and say, "Give it up for Bill Bellamy"? That's my never mind.
I think so. That may be him. I'm going to tell me if this joke sounds familiar. So he's rocking the crowd. I mean, black people are just going insane. And then he says, "I love performing in front of black crowds. I don't know why people don't." They're like, "Yeah." He was like, "People ask me, why do you perform in front of black crowds?" He was like, "I feel safe in front of them more do I in front of the white crowds." Black people are like, "Yeah, we love you." He says, "They're not going to shoot me. They're too busy shooting each other." And then it's like a 2-second silence, and they're just like, "Ah!" And I think that happened because he built a rapport with them where it's like, I think he's a cool guy. He just didn't come out with that joke, because he came out with that joke, they'd be like, well, who is this guy?
Yeah,
you know?
It sounds hateful.
Yeah. So that's a good point.
Yeah, there's a few of those, man. Yeah, there's this guy Roger Rod. He was like.
I'm gonna look him up right now. See if that's him.
Yeah, he would do like mostly black rooms and stuff, but he had this. He has this joke. He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm sick of all these girls saying I need at least 10 inches. I need at least 10 inches." He's like, "I ain't folding my shit in half for nobody." Goes nuts. And then there's this other dude who's from like New York. He's like in Harlem or something. He's in this crazy like a you know, it's like a black like comedy club or whatever. And somebody's heckling him. And he starts talking about how he can't see the dude because he's like I've heard about Tupac Shakur, but this guy is too black for sure. And the crowd is just like, like dude, he's like God status about whatever. But yeah, I think if you come with the skills, like people will respect you no matter what. And then, but yeah, you have to set up that thing, and I think people can smell it on you, like if it's authentic or not. Like, you know. That's a crazy thing with stand-up, too. It's like if you they can smell if you're scared, if you're fumbling. So those people that really project that confidence, like whatever, even with bombing, whatever it is, Bill, I hate to quote Bill Cosby, but he said that a pilot doesn't get on the thing on the plane and say he's gonna try to land the plane. He lands the plane. Yeah. So like you got to think about that and stand up all the time. It's like they got to know that they're safe in your hands and that you're gonna land the plane. You know, sometimes even if you're having that in your mind where can I land this? You got to project the idea that you can, and yeah, it's crazy. But we'll share videos. I'll send you stuff once this is over. Like
of course.
There's some good there's some funny videos out there, but
Would you say you switch your or kind of alter your material for like a white and a black crowd? Because like I said, I've never did stand up before, but I do the Man on the Street videos, which is pretty comedy based, and I've used the ones I went viral for were black crowds and whatnot because I'm so used to being around black people. So when I'm around the white crowds, I'm like, do I say the N-word less? How do I do this? So is that something that you think about when you're in front of like more black people?
No, I mean, I would say that my material is all I have. So, like, if I got that 15 minutes of what I'm gonna say, I can maybe riff more. Like, I feel it's more dependent on the room, how the room feels. Like, if the room feels like a little more maybe rowdy, whatever race it is. Like, say maybe it's a bar or something. I know that I can maybe talk a little more outside of the act. More the biggest issue I've had maybe is with regional references. Like I have that's been the most sort of editing that I've done where if I say, I grew up around a lot of cholos, it's like some people don't know what cholos are. I gotta say, cholos are this or whatever. But no, I don't. I would say, if anything, I get a little more weird around conservative audiences who are like maybe more straight laced. So the more the audience is like what I grew up around, like just sort of not even racially, just sort of the vibe of like people you'd want to hang out with. I feel a little more loose. Um, but if it's like very like, you're talking about like listening to different types of laughs. Like if I get a certain type of laugh, I'm yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is getting into like this like esoteric shit of like how it feels when you're on stage. But like, definitely if I'm in, well, I guess the conservative thing doesn't even matter either. Like, cause say I'm in San Antonio and it's like a predominantly like people of color audience, like Mexican, black. Like, I feel a little bit more like able to interact.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that. Where if I'm like with maybe an all white audience in who knows, I've never been, but like say like Alabama or Florida, like it's gonna be different. But then also at that point, all I can do is my act, and I hope that if it does get uncomfortable, I'll be able to like riff my way out of it. But I don't know. I for the most part, I've been lucky to be in front of predominant like of like mixed crowds and stuff. So, and the people that are coming to our shows, if they're doing the Joelberg chant, then I know that they fuck with me, and that gives me a little bit of wiggle room too. I don't know, man. It's weird. I hope I get that I'm at the point where I don't have to change anything, where I can just have them see me as a human being and be able to laugh. That's another thing that's sort of interesting in comedy is like you don't have to like everything somebody's saying, like to laugh at it. Like I've seen comics I don't agree with at all say shit that I don't agree with, but it's funny, and like it's funny, but it definitely has to be another level of funny for me to laugh at something I don't agree with.
I want to say Louis C.K. Louis C.K. does that. Louis C.K.
Yeah.
He did I think like his monologue at SNL. He did like a crazy like molesting bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah,
he was talking about how like molesting. I don't know. I think he said something, and it wasn't like something you'd be like, yeah, molesting is good, but it was like it's funny. Yeah. He found the humor inside of that.
Thought. Yeah,
for sure.
The problem is it's funny because I've been doing open mics for 8 years now, right? But like, you'll see people take that energy without the skill level to do it, and you're like wait a little bit, like don't. A lot of new stand-ups they'll do, they immediately jump to race or religion or politics and don't necessarily have the skills yet to like make a topic like that palatable. I that's why I tend to stay away from a lot of that stuff. I mostly, one of the best advice I ever got was my friend, this guy Paul. Paul Lair I met him at the first open mic I ever went to, and he like invited me to another one and blah blah blah. So saw me go up. I did a joke about like there was this show about like people who were pregnant but didn't know it, and I was like, how do you not know? I was doing this dumb observational shit, and he's like when you do observational stuff, you run the risk of doing a joke that 100 people are doing. Everybody can watch that show, but he's like, I like it when you talk about when you went to Catholic school or this or that, because when you do that, that's only your life, only you lived your life, so you're the only one that will have that, for the most part. But so it made me think. So most of my stuff now is all personal because nobody's, I run less of a risk of other people having that joke than me, So there's that. So I try to keep it in that realm. But now, with all the shit that's going on, it's like if I'm gonna have an opinion about something, I want to say why does Joel feel this way about that? Not just this is airplane food is crazy. Well, why does Joel not like airplane food? Whatever. I try to filter it through that lens, but yeah, I don't know. Stand-up's such a fucking in-depth art form, but yeah, I don't know.
I feel like what gets people better is being in front of crowds that make you uncomfortable. Like, because you brought up conservatives. Sure. You brought up conservatives, and I'm pretty sure you weren't talking about this conservatives, but the Republican National Convention is coming to Jacksonville, actually. And
you're going, are you?
I can't, man. It's too crazy, bro. It's too crazy outside. Like, it's too... Because you got to think about it. A lot of the people that are going to be there are probably going to be a lot of old white people that don't take coronavirus seriously. It's probably going to be a lot of people that's like... It's the same people that's probably going to, like, anti-mask rallies and was like, I don't need to wear my mask, so...
And they're rallied up, man. They're already at a 10 when they get there, It's that shit is scary, man. I didn't pay attention to it for a long time because, like, I heard Ice-T say this, that like both parties are just like wings on the same bird, you know. So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't like politicians across the board in general, but now the shit's like scary, dude. Like the last
Everybody's extreme almost. It's like everybody's on an extreme end, and I don't think I want to go there because I've been seeing way too many people or way too many videos of like old white women just like spitting on people. Somebody spits on me, I don't think they're not gonna be the one being recorded. It's probably gonna be me recording beat somebody's ass, you know. So like, I don't want to do that, but that would be a really funny place to go to. But yeah, that's a that's just a man. Coronavirus is messing up a lot of stuff. It's messing up a lot of stuff right now, but.
Yeah, I know. It's been interesting to be like creative how we do it. Like my podcast now, like me and David, we figured out a way to do it away from each other. Basically, like we run the we run the Skype on the phone and in the headphones, and we each have our own camera and mic. So we're recording it separately, and then he puts it together. You know, he does the clap on the mic so that we can do the taping. But yeah, just being creative, man. Like I feel like creative people are gonna thrive in this time because we're figuring out ways to do it. You know, this is dope. Like, and honestly, like, this is one of the cooler like ones I've done in a while. But it's like I've enjoyed. This is a conversation like we probably would have never had it not been for like technology and like being able to access people. You know, unless we were in the same room. You know, but so I don't know. It's dope, man. We'll figure it out. It seems like you're a pretty creative person yourself. So like I think like you know, there's no other option than to keep it moving, dude, and you gotta stay positive. So.
Remember, I just want to thank you for coming through because you asked me, hey, how long does you usually run? I think I said like 30 minutes. Hey, this definitely is way longer than 30 minutes, so I definitely apologize for you.
No, dude, I was like, fuck this, let's go, man. It's nice. Well, I do a lot of weird. I've done a lot of, you know, God bless them, but I've done a few weird ones, and so I never know what to expect. I was like, I don't know who the fuck I'm gonna, you know, what they're gonna ask me, whatever. But I felt like we got into like a, you know, I could see myself hanging, you know, we could hang out, you know. It's not like, you know,
not weird.
There are people who I'm never gonna probably talk to again after the interview's over.
It's weird because I watch interviews and it's like I don't know. I try to feel comfortable and I try to make the person feel comfortable. Like I try to treat my interviews, if definitely interview for the first time, it's like I'm getting to know you. You know, it's like it's just like you're asking me questions, I'm asking you questions. Try to make it feel natural instead of like say question 5B. Why did you know? I don't want to do that. I feel like that makes it less natural. Or I'm asking you the 30th or the question that you've been asked 30 million times. Like I don't want to. That's why I watch a lot of your interviews. Like what do people ask him? Like, let me stray away from that so he doesn't have to explain. So how did you get on Kill Tony? How did you I didn't want to ask you that. I kind of wanted to talk about music theory and breathing and shit like
Love
that.
It,
so
dude. Hell yeah, it was dope.
So
I think that's what people like too, man. They want that natural shit now, not some one paint by numbers sort of interview. You know.
Hey, and last thing before we get out of here, something that you said that I also agree with you with. You said you hate when people come to you as if like you're just comedian man 24/7. It's like because you said like Kill Tony is like it's a very aggressive nature. You know, if like somebody bombs y'all are killing them. So you may be out at the Starbucks, somebody be like, "Hey, dickhead," and you're like, "Whoa."
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Like, nigga, calm down. You know what I'm saying? So does like how often does that happen where you're like just chilling and somebody comes like kind of just out the woodworks with something wild?
On tour, once in a while, like we do these meet and greets, and you would have like I would say maybe even just one out of everybody that you meet that night, or a group of like 3 guys. Like online, it happens pretty often. Yeah. People in the comments, it's like I can't even put up a photo of like whatever me and my mom or whatever without somebody be like, that dumb bitch. Like tell her does she know how big your dick is? Like put her, and I'm like, dude, please, like this is my mom.
Yeah.
Like, they think we're just roasting each other, but overwhelmingly it's been positive. People are pretty cool. You always get that one wild card who doesn't know how to act, but I think that's just people in general. So not as often as you would think. I also don't like get recognized like that all the time, but it does happen just for you people.
It's funny because like I'm not a person that get recognized, but I'm cool with, I don't know if you know the music reviewer YouTuber Anthony Fantano, Needle Drop.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So like he's a reason like I got so many subscribers because he just helped me out like along in the way. And when I interviewed him, I asked him like how many weird interactions do you have with people? And he would just say like when he would like go on like this live tour that he had, it would just be like that one guy in the crowd just like just weird. You know, it's like, bro, like this is weird.
For
You know,
sure.
and it's weird because it's like, how do you not understand like you are like being a big weirdo right now when everybody else is chilling and you're just like this one person that's just like doing the
Yeah.
extreme. You know?
There's a difference too, because there are people who are maybe like, not for me. I'm not saying like I'm at that level, but people that are just nervous.
Starstruck. Yeah.
But they're very like apologetic.
Yeah.
Usually they're cool. I heard that Paul McCartney is like really good about that. From people I've heard, like when they meet him, they're like, "Oh fuck, you're one of the Beatles. You're Paul." I hear like he really knows how to like have them take a second, take it in, and then he's like real cool about it. But yeah, whatever, man. You know,
It's whatever.
it doesn't bother me. I'm very happy and lucky
Of
to be
course.
in the position that I'm in. So
Hey man,
yeah,
well,
dude.
like I said, I appreciate you coming through. If you have anything else you have to say before we get out of here, let it be known.
Yeah, no, mostly sorry podcast. Every Tuesday at 5 we do live chats on YouTube, and Kill Tony every Monday. Thanks to for everybody for the support. Fucking, be positive. Let's all learn how to breathe and get through this life, man.
Hey, for everybody watching right now, I appreciate it. Until next time, I say what I mean what I say. Haters are gonna hate, players are gonna play, and you guys holler at your boy.